Now in this first problem, problem 11, we need to solve by completing the square. And we want our answers as simplified radicals. So remember, in this process, we're going to first add 14. We're going to complete the square of x squared plus 4x plus something. But we put this 14 on the right-hand side because it's not completing the square. So we add 14 to both sides. That's our first step. And that cancels this off over here. So we've got x squared plus 4x. Let me back up. Just x squared plus 4x. I'm going to leave myself some space here. Equals 14 plus some value. And this is so that when I complete this square, I'm going to have to add some value. I'm going to have to put some value in here, and I have to balance the equation by adding it out there. So, to complete the square, I take half of 4, and that's 2. And I square that 2. That 4 there completes the square. This is a perfect square. X plus 2, the quantity squared, gives me x squared plus 4x plus 4. I balance that over here. And so to finish on this second line here, I'm adding 14 and 4 to get 18. Now I'm going to finish my solution by taking the square root of both sides, plus and minus, and on the left I have x plus 2 equals plus or minus the square root of 18. Now this needs to be a simplified radical. So the square root of 18, let's just do it over here. Simplified, well, we'll check. Divide that by 2, we get 9. Divide that by 3, we get 3. So we have a pair of 3's. So this 18 is 3 square root of 2. We have 2 is not paired up. Finally, we have to subtract 2 from each side. And we get x is equal to negative 2 plus or minus 3 square root of 2. And that gives us our two values. Negative 2 plus or minus 3 root 2. Problem 12. Here we want to use the quadratic formula. Let's just write the quadratic formula is given by x equals the opposite of b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac. I'm running out of room over there. All over 2a. So I'm going to do a little work down here. Notice this is asking for the value of the discriminant. The discriminant is b squared minus 4ac. It's just the value, that value that we get by computing what's underneath the radical. Let's do just a little bit of other preliminary work. A is 2, b is negative 1, c is 6. And so the discriminant will be negative 1 squared minus 4 times 2 times 6. negative 1 squared, don't ever make this mistake, or try to avoid this mistake, but negative 1 squared is 1. That number will always, that squaring will always be positive. Don't put that into your calculator as negative 1 squared, it'll give you negative 1. We're squaring a negative number. All squaring any number will give you a non-negative number. Now, 4 times 2 is 8, 8 times 6 is 48, so this minus 48. So this is negative 47. That's our discriminant, negative 47. Now, when we take a square root of a negative number, we know we don't get a real number. The calculator will say non-real roots. Well, in our quadratic equation, notice it says plus or minus. If it's plus or minus any value other than 0, if the discriminant comes out to be 0, then we get 1 root. But in any other case, we're going to get 2 roots. Square root of a negative number is a complex number, so we get 2 complex roots. Okay, so the exact solution then, using the quadratic formula, it's the opposite of negative 1 plus or minus. Now it's the square root of negative 47. We've figured that out. Over 2 times 2. A was 2. And that is 1 plus or minus. Now the 47, we can kind of think about this. 47. Is there any number that goes into 47 evenly other than 1? 2 doesn't. It's not even. We add these up. We can check for 3. 4 plus 7 is 11. 11 is not divisible by 3. It's not divisible by 5. It's not divisible by 7. And really, that's all we need to check. So that is a prime number, 47, and cannot be simplified. And the negative, square root of a negative 1, we know is I. So we bring that out. This is indicating, okay, I is the complex, the unit of the imaginary, it's the imaginary unit. We bring that out so we have a square root of a positive number times I over 4. Now this is our exact solution. You can express it that way, 1 plus or minus root 47 I over 4.